The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, wants to control your car, negatively impact the economy, take your freedom, and deny you fun in motorsports. Why is this issue important? Well, it's more than just about racing. Welcome back to Car Coach Reports. I'm Paul Fix. If this is your first time here, we give you more than car reviews and first looks at new vehicles. We give you car smarts, because knowledge is power. Subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. In 2015, the EPA adjusted language in the Clean Air Act of 1975 to apply to the tampering of emission systems on vehicles. This is in direct response to the Volkswagen Dieselgate scandal that you all know and we've talked about 100 times. In 2020, the language was reclarified, but did not include a stipulation for race cars or cars that have been modified into race cars. The EPA has since made a statement that any vehicle that has ever had a VIN, or vehicle identification number, is not allowed to have any, quote, off-road parts installed on it. The EPA wants to control your freedom to modify your street vehicles. This means all cars, trucks, motorcycles cannot be converted into race cars or part-time race cars, according to the EPA. And it gets worse. Wait, the EPA has announced that enforcement against high-performance parts including superchargers, tuners, and exhaust systems are their top priority. This extends to manufacturers, distributors, installers, and users of race car parts on their road car turned into a race car. This means that you cannot manufacture and you cannot install parts that change the emissions of a vehicle in any way. And if you do, be prepared. A huge fine is coming directly from the EPA. The internet is already awash with examples of the EPA going after individuals and small businesses that work in the racing industry and hitting them with fines that go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, the EPA's statements have been inconsistent. They may go after the sale of parts that are for racing use only. In a recent legal proceeding, a representative of the EPA stated that, and I quote, "An EPA certified motor vehicle cannot become a non-road vehicle even if used exclusively for competition, because the definition of motor vehicle hinges on the purpose of its design and not its use," end quote. Which I don't think anybody would actually agree with. This has an impact on the economy and on your freedom. Over $2 billion in racing exclusive parts are sold each year, and the automotive aftermarket as a whole sells over $32 billion. That includes over 7,300 businesses with SEMA and thousands more with PRI. All of this is under threat, and it means job losses too. So what's actually being done about it? Well, SEMA, the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association, and PRI, the Performance Racing Industry, have partnered together on the RPM Act, stands for Recognizing the Protection of Motorsports Act of 2021. This is going to be HR 3281 and S 2736 to attempt to push a bill to Congress to stop these actions. This would enshrine race cars made from street cars within the language of the bill, allowing enthusiasts to continue building them and allow the industry to live on. The majority of race cars are actually built from regular road cars modified by enthusiasts to go grassroots racing. Americans have already sent over 1.3 million letters to their representatives to stop the EPA from their overreach. This is about exhaust emissions, so let's use a comparable. 15 container ships put out more pollution than every car on the road in the US today. And as of today, there's hundreds sitting in the ocean waiting to unload. Neither of these are good, but just to have something to compare against. I should note that the RPM Act does not protect vehicles if it's mildly modified or if it's a hot rod. So the catback exhaust system on your Civic or the engine swap on your old Firebird, those don't fall under the protections of the RPM Act if it is passed. Now give the EPA a chance and your vehicle is next, but they could extend this interpretation to things as small as changing the wheels and tires on your car, which by the way do affect your emissions. As a reminder, it's illegal in many cases and will remain illegal to modify road cars. There may be some leniency with modifications depending on your state and local laws, etc., but make sure that you're aware of that before you modify your vehicle. Here's the bottom line. Go to saveourracecars.com and contact your local representative today and join the fight to save our hobby. This is only the beginning, but you have to start somewhere if we're going to keep our hobby alive. If you got value from this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Share it with a friend. And if you have any additional questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer. You can follow me online at PaulFix3, and there's more on our website, carcoachreports.com, with content in English and in Spanish. Plus, you can get more practical car smarts from Lauren Fix's Guide to Loving Your Car. The link is down below. You can check out Lauren on the Total Car Score podcast on all platforms, where they go behind the scenes of the automotive industry, see what makes it tick, and get a lot of exclusive interviews for people behind the scenes that you can't get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.